It's 7 p.m. You're supposed to meet your friends. Your phone buzzes. It's a text from that one friend saying, "Just walking out the door." Now, if you speak fluent late person language, you know exactly what that means. It means they are currently standing in their underwear, staring blankly into a closet, wondering if they actually need to go out tonight. We all know someone like this. Or, let's be entirely honest here, maybe you are that someone. Look, I'm not here to lecture you or tell you to just buy a watch. We're going past the surface level. Because being chronically late isn't just a sign of poor planning or laziness. Behavioral psychologists and researchers have found that chronic lateness is deeply tied to specific, rare personality traits and unique cognitive wiring. Today, we're looking at our friend Soul to help break down the hidden psychology of the perpetually tardy. Let's see which of these 4 rare traits explains your chaotic daily timeline.
First up, we have a trait driven by a psychological phenomenon known as the planning fallacy. We call this person the magical thinker. Saul is a textbook magical thinker. When Saul looks at the clock and sees he has to be across town in 15 minutes, his brain doesn't see a logistical crisis, it sees an opportunity for a miracle. Saul genuinely, truly, in his heart of hearts, believes that he can take a shower, blow dry his hair, find his wallet, drive across the city, find a prime parking spot, and walk 3 blocks, all in exactly 9 minutes. He isn't lying to you when he says he'll be there soon. He's actively lying to himself. Psychologists note that magical thinkers suffer from time asymmetry. Their brains completely delete all past evidence of delays. Red lights don't exist in Saul's universe. The 5 minutes spent looking for car keys, a mythical anomaly that will surely never happen again. You'll always recognize the magical thinker by their signature catchphrase, "I don't get it, I left on time." No, Saul. No, you did not. You left at the exact time you were supposed to arrive. Next is a much more complex trait, the secret dreader. This kind of lateness has absolutely nothing to do with clocks, calendars, or bad traffic. It is entirely driven by avoidance behavior. Let's look at Saul again. He's supposed to go to a massive networking event or social gathering filled with people he barely knows. On the surface, he said yes, but deep in his subconscious, his brain is screaming, "No thank you." Because Saul is secretly dreading the event, his subconscious mind starts throwing up roadblocks to protect him. Suddenly, right when he needs to put his shoes on, he feels an overwhelming urge to organize his junk drawer. Suddenly, he remembers an urgent email from 3 days ago that absolutely must be answered right this second. If you notice that you are weirdly punctual for things like catching a flight or going to a movie, but chronically late to family dinners or specific social gatherings, congratulations! Your lateness isn't a time problem. It's a symptom of anxiety or boundary issues. Your brain is trying to tell you something you aren't admitting out loud. Now we move on to a trait that is a bit more self-serving, the main character. People with this trait are late because unconsciously they find lateness to be, let's call it, emotionally profitable. When Saul walks into a room 30 minutes late, what happens? The conversation pauses. Everyone looks up. Someone says, "Hey, Saul is finally here." There is a mini-flurry of attention, a brief moment where the spotlight shifts entirely to him. In psychology, this links to a concept called perceived social value. Without realizing it, the main character associates waiting with a lack of importance. In their mind, important people don't wait around for others. Important people are waited for. Saul would never admit this out loud, and if you accused him of it, he'd deny it instantly. He doesn't maliciously think he is better than everyone else, but his subconscious mind absolutely loves the cinematic drama of making an entrance. To him, arriving on time feels boring. Arriving late feels like a plot point. Finally, we have a trait backed heavily by neuroscience, the sensation seeker, or what some psychologists call the crisis junkie. Believe it or not, some people are chronically late because their brains are literally addicted to the chemical rush of being in a rush. Look at Saul. When he has 2 hours to get ready, he freezes. He gets distracted, scrolls on his phone, and feels completely unmotivated. Why? because there's no pressure. But when the clock ticks down to exactly 7 minutes before he has to leave, a switch flips in his brain. Suddenly, his adrenaline spikes. Cortisol floods his system, his heart starts racing as he dashes around the house like a contestant on a game show, grabbing his code and keys in a blur of motion. For the sensation seeker, the stress of almost being late provides the focus and dopamine hit that their brain naturally craves. They don't want to be late, but they absolutely need the thrill of the race against time just to function.
So, let's take a look in the mirror. Which one of these rare traits fits you best? Are you the magical thinker who bends reality? The secret dreader using lateness as a shield? The main character who loves the spotlight? Or the sensation seeker chasing an adrenaline rush? Drop your type in the comments below. Don't worry, this is a completely judgment-free zone. If this video made you feel seen or maybe just a little bit personally attacked, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Here at Reewryte, we love breaking down the weird psychology behind our everyday human chaos. And hey, if you're watching this video right now instead of walking out the door to meet someone, you are officially late. Go put some pants on. See you in the next one.